Bit of a weird story this one is, to be quite honest with you. Might have two parties at fault here somewhat, although personally I do think, well, let me explain the parties involved with this story. So we have Nomakai Dallas, a convention in Dallas, Texas. Of course, you have Shane Holmberg, apparently the owner of that convention, and, Shane, don't need to go into much detail with that. And we have Don Hill, who is a fan who was trying to attend that convention, and also a I Stand With Vic person. So that's the parties in this story, those three parties: Nomakai Dallas, Shane Holmberg, and Don Hill. And this all culminated into a firestorm on Twitter over the last 24 hours or so, to the point where there's so many messages and so many retweets and stuff like that, that I'm going to be completely honest. I don't think I will have the full story in this video. I will do my best to give you the facts, what's been going down and all that sort of thing. Some highlight moments: Shane Holmberg actually claiming that he was going to deck the guy in the face. Apparently, to be fair to both sides, this guy had also said some interesting things to Ron Toy, and I think that was a mistake. That was over on Facebook. I'm going to show you all this stuff in a moment. But that said, what Don said to Ron, did it warrant such a reply from Shane and from the Nomakai Dallas account? I think Shane handled that pretty poorly. And whoever's using the Nomakai Dallas account, I don't know if it's Shane, I don't know who it is, but it seems like they're handling it pretty poorly. So just to reiterate before we get into all this, kind of a weird, complicated story that's spread all over various social media, Twitter, Facebook. Some of this goes back to September as well. The Ron stuff does. So I'm going to show you that stuff, and hopefully you can follow along. Hopefully I present this pretty well. So without further ado, let me present to you the first screenshot here from the beginning. First, we got this tweet here from Nomakai Dallas that reads, "We unfortunately had to ban someone today. What in the world made them think this was a VicCon? No, just no." So let's establish right at the beginning that regardless of the circumstances behind this occurrence, it seems like Nomakai Dallas thought it was a good idea to make this tweet. That seems like a bad idea. Even if they had a just reason to ban this person, the fact that you're bringing up that you banned them and you're bringing this drama to your community, it's a bad look in my opinion. You bring Vic's name into this out of nowhere. And this is October 6th. You guys, like I said yesterday in the video I made yesterday, Kick Vic has had their TCPAs passed. The causes of action have been dismissed. But here you have Kick Vic, even conventions, still doing what they can to, cry about Vic and I Stand With Vic and stuff like that. But again, don't get the wrong idea. I do think both parties may be at fault here, just to differing extents. So let's continue. One more time. We unfortunately had to ban someone today. What in the world made them think this was a VicCon? No, just no. And then we have some further confirmation from Shane here. It says, "Yep, stand for something. There are things worth more than money." And that takes us to this tweet. Further confirmation from Shane says, "It's my con. I don't have to show evidence. He was banned on my word. Deal with it." So we've established that, Shane says it's his convention, Nomakai Dallas, and they have banned this person. That person being Don Hill. We'll get to that in a moment. Here's a screenshot of Shane, mentioning that he would almost deck the guy. It says, "Yeah, ask the head of security. I almost decked him when he pulled out an anti-Ron shirt in front of me." Now, listen, I'm not a lawyer, but I don't think someone wearing a shirt is the legal grounds to deck them in the face. And this is supposed to be at a business you're running, a convention. That's highly, highly inappropriate, in my opinion. Let's see what Don Hill has to say. "I didn't even do anything. Way to toss Vic Mignogna's name in there for no reason," in response to the original tweet that we just took a look at, reading, "We unfortunately had to ban someone today." Well, we've already read this twice. I'm not going to read it a third time. Says he didn't do anything, and then we have your response from Shane saying, "I have tons of guests who say you did. I have screenshots from months ago of you doing things to them, including the one where I told you that you would be banned from conventions. You laughed and scoffed. Today you gave us money and were then banned. That worked out so well for you." Man, this is very, again, I don't necessarily know the entire story here. Maybe Shane was wronged by this person a little bit, but regardless, this is not a good look, man. I mean, you're getting likes, but how many of those 85 people are actually showing up to your conventions? How many of them are actually paying you? And how do you think this will help your reputation? I don't think it's going to help very much. As a matter of fact, I think it would do the opposite, but hey, you're the convention guy, not me. What do I know? I've only had a panel at a convention, one panel in my life, and it was a pretty successful panel. But what do I know? What do I know? You're the one actually running these things, so surely you know more than I would about that. Anyways, moving on. Some attendee/fan had been going to guest social media pages for months, doing things to them for hugging fans. He was warned, ignored it, and snuck into show after being told he was not invited. We found out and promptly kicked him. That was from Shane, I believe. Yeah, that's from Nomakai Dallas. So Nomakai Dallas says that this person snuck in, but it seems like that was a lie because Don Hill refutes that by saying, snuck in. You took my $15 at the door for my badge, LOL. And he posts a picture of his badge right there. Nomakai Dallas, October 5th through 6th, 2019. Backing that claim up, of course, is Shane himself saying that he, this Don gave him his money and then he was kicked out. So it seems like, no, this person did not sneak in. So why is Nomakai Dallas lying about that? Because they do say, and snuck into the show. And clearly it seems like he didn't. If he bought a badge and walked in with the badge like a normal attendee would. So that seems like a problem there as well, Shane. If you're using this account, why lie? If you're not using this account, one of your employees seems like they're misrepresenting what occurred. And let me reiterate for the third or so time now, I do think both parties are at fault. And I'll show you why I think Don Hill's at fault a little bit too. But let me emphasize a little bit. Don Hill made a little mistake in my opinion. The responses he's been getting from Nomakai Dallas, from Shane, this is pretty ridiculous and completely lacks professionalism, in my opinion. Moving on. So Don Hill then says this. So it was because I was openly vocal about I stand with Vic, not because guests complained, not because I was causing issues at the con and etc. Finally, the truth comes out. Want to go back and fix all the lies you already posted? In response to Shane saying, is this the same one? Yes. Says, well, that is one way of looking at it, which is completely 100% false. Ron had nothing to do with the guy this weekend, except after he was kicked, he was taunting his anti-Ron shirt. This guy was kicked for the way he treated voice actors months ago on Facebook. So this is a very weird thing that Shane is saying. Ron had nothing to do with the guy this weekend, but it seems like Ron certainly did have something to do with this. Not necessarily, I'm not saying that Ron directly was involved and Ron told him to kick the guy out. I don't think that was really the case. I'm kind of imagining Ron had nothing to really do with it that directly. But there was some exchanges of messaging on Facebook. And again, that's where I kind of think that Don Hill maybe did misplay a little bit. So we'll take a look at that in a moment. The response that Shane posted here, though, was in regards to this. Joe Frago says, that makes it so much better for you guys. Wow, it's all perfectly logical now. So the owner of Nomakai Dallas hunted down someone, a real estate agent, didn't like at a con and bragged about nearly doing something. Applause. And let's take a look. Don Hill says, these are the screenshots actually from Facebook. So here's where things get a little bit complicated, right? This is from September, I believe the middle of September. It says, Don Hill says to Ron Toy, don't you have a wife to beat up instead of, threatening me? Ron says, LOL, nice attempt, but a swing and a miss. I want it to be perfectly clear if you try anything at that event, if they even let you in after these posts, you will be in for a big surprise. Says, I'll be reporting you to the con. I hope we still get to meet Ron. I haven't seen you since Anime Fest. A lot has changed since then, with a winking smiley face. And that's where I think Don misplayed a little bit. That's not a direct claim that he's going to do anything, but the implication you could argue is there. So again, I've said again a lot, but I don't want to seem like I'm going after Don Hill. I'm not. I do think Don Hill was wronged. I think Nomakai and Shane have handled this poorly, and the lying about what happened is also a very bad look. But was Don warranted to have been kicked out of this convention? I don't know. Maybe they should have just not even taken his money. I mean, maybe they should have done this a more official way where he was banned and he wasn't even able to purchase a ticket. It seems like they went out of their way to screw this guy, but who knows? Next screenshot. Ron says, I believe I've covered this before, but let me do it again because you obviously missed it. I do not care what you wear to the convention. I do not care which voice actors you like. All I care about is making sure you understand, making sure you are crystal clear in your understanding that I am well aware we live in Texas and that if you try to intimidate or do anything to Monica in any way, there will be consequences. Besides that, I would want you to have fun, enjoy the show, and be respectful. And I got to say, it's actually not a bad reply from Ron. I can't believe I'm saying that. Then we have this, kind of interesting. I don't know what the context is. There's some sort of screenshot there. It says, John Swayze, I would like you would like you to make it perfectly clear that this guy is not to come anywhere near us. He should be able to come to the con, enjoy the show, support who he chooses to support, but after the situation, he isn't welcome around this period. And Dawn says there are going to be panels that she'll be in with other VAs. She'll be next to other VAs in autograph lines. I will go where I choose to enjoy the con. Get over yourself. I'm just wearing a shirt. You are the one who started all this drama. I mean, look, I don't know who started this. I don't know how these messages got started. But what I do know is you have two people bickering back and forth with each other. If Don Hill really just wanted to attend the convention, he shouldn't have gotten a dispute with Ron and Shane and all this sort of thing. That didn't need to happen, right? I mean, I don't know. It just seems unnecessary, right? Now, again, for the fourth time now, I do think Don is the lesser person in the wrong here, kind of, but it does seem like he made some mistakes. I don't want to be completely unfair to the other side. Just because I'm biased and I don't like a lot of the stuff that Kick Vic has done doesn't mean I'm not going to stand up for the truth if I have an opinion on that sort of thing. Like when I stood up for Monica when there was like only a handful of people that were claiming, it was specifically like one or two people, they were claiming that she had kicked out that Edward Elric cosplayer, and I defended her because everything I looked into, it seemed like that was a lie, and Monica didn't do that. So I reported on that and actually defended Monica in that video. Because, man, we don't need to sit here doing things like that to succeed. We have truth on our side. That's been working very well. And, we don't need to stoop to their level and do that sort of stuff. So that's pretty much where the story ends. The next part of the video here, I'm just going to scroll through Shane's tweets and replies. I don't know what all he said here, so I'm not going to show it on screen. Maybe some of that stuff is a bit iffy. But he's just tweeting up a storm over this whole thing. It's kind of crazy. The last 24 hours, he's probably made, I don't think it would be a stretch to say over 100 tweets about this. That might be, I don't think that's too much of a stretch just scrolling through this. Says some stuff like, I tried to stop him from coming and paying us. He wouldn't have it, so he forced us to take his money and then got banned. Nothing I can do about that. I mean, how does someone force you to take their money? It's this simple. No, you can't buy a ticket. If you remain on the premises, we will have you removed. I don't believe that for a second, Shane. I'm sorry. He did not force you to take his money. If anything, it seems like you guys did it and then kicked him out because you wanted an extra little, you wanted a little bragging rights for your friends or something, your Kick Vic friends. Oh, yeah, we took his money and then we kicked him out. But hey, I don't really know what happened. I just know that sounds a bit ridiculous to say that he forced you to take his money. I mean, come on, man. Come on. Says you got banned when you starting problems with Aaron. Remember how long ago that was? You forgot you talk so much stuff. You forget how much you talk. So again, like the very beginning of this video, I said I might not have all the facts. This is a weird story. It's spread over Twitter, over social media. Some of it goes back a month or so. There's been so many tweets, so many posts. So I don't know what that Aaron thing is. Maybe Don Hill is more at fault here than I realized, to be fair. I don't know. Or maybe he's less at fault than I realized, to be fair, too. I don't know what Aaron's done and what Aaron may have done to Don. So just some more posts here. Says from Shane, it was our head of guest relations who found you outside the door and was talking to you before I walked up. We have screenshots of the guests complaining about you before then. Just take the fact that no one wants you as a sign and go away. Fix your personality and try again. Shane says, I am chairman of the con. On behalf of the con and myself, let me say this clearly. F professionalism. Don't do these things to voice actors. Says again from Shane, you think we cared enough to follow him around? How naive. Someone saw him, reported him being on site. We told people to keep an eye out for him and kicked him when we saw him. So the implication there, it seems like they told people before the convention to keep an eye out for him. This one person did see them, then reported them, and they kicked him out. So something's clearly not being represented properly here. If the guy forced you to take his money, then you must have known who he was at the time when he was offering you the money for the badge, right? But that post makes it seem more like when he bought the badge, you guys didn't know who he was. He got the badge, he was enjoying the con for a bit, and then he got kicked out. So, yeah, this is a weird story because it's spread all over the place. It seems like people are not telling the truth here. So I'll wrap this video up in a moment. Weird one, man. Weird one. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. I guess my final take is I don't know the full thing. I don't know who's really in the right or the wrong, but I do think Shane and Nomakai should probably stop posting all this stuff on Twitter. It's not a great look for a business, especially one that's supposed to be run for the fans, anime convention, and stuff like that. But hey, maybe Shane doesn't want to run his convention for the fans. I don't know. I'm not going to tell him how to run his business. Seems like he's doing a great job on his own. Totally not being sarcastic. Alright, we'll wrap this video up now. So let me start the outro. For yesterday's video, I have some shoutouts for the kind people who helped promote that on Twitter, and if you promoted it elsewhere, thank you for that as well. My system only tells me the first 20 people on Twitter. And today we got Clever Halloween Name, Brandon Mayo, Goblin Slayer of Hestia, the Lancaster Kid. Wait, oh my gosh, that previous name, bro. Tamagi Suo, Wanderlust, Rasal Haj, Agent Under Baron, 13th Honey Badger, wrecked by West Nile Virus, Drac Caprico, Richard Hall, Skelekitty, and Intimidator108. Thank you all very much for your support. If you enjoyed this one, feel free to share it, comment down below, thumbs up, all that stuff, subscribe. And that's it for this one, my friends. Patreon, Teespring, if you want some merch, links in the description, and I'll see you next time.